Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I am Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for Machida versus Romero UFC Fight Night in Hollywood, Florida. Oh man, yeah, this fight card, top to bottom, from the first prelim match to the main event, was just amazing. Yeah, I think the only lackluster fight, oh yeah, was the Hawkron Diaz fight. That was the only fight that was lackluster. But other than that, every other fight was, whether it went to a decision or had a finish, it was amazing. Yeah, so this is the post-fight show for the main card, so let's get started with the main event, shall we? Okay, so the main event was a middleweight 5-rounder, but we didn't need it, for number 4 ranked middleweight Lyoto Machida versus number 6 ranked middleweight Yoel Romero. And this is obviously before the match was over. You know, they were ranked this. Yeah, so it's a middleweight clash of top 10 ranked middleweights. I picked Yoel Romero on this one on my pre-fight show, and I told everyone Yoel Romero is going to steamroll through Lyoto Machida. Not to take anything away from Lyoto Machida, he's a talented, great fighter. But I just figured Yoel Romero, he was in better shape, he had more time to prepare, and he's coming off a win, he's not banged up. And sure enough, he got the victory in this fight. It was third round KO elbows. He gets a takedown at the tail end, and he pounds out Lyoto Machida. En route to a KO victory. Man, but in the second round, he was rocking Machida. In the first round, he found his rhythm a little bit. He had some moments. You could debate whether Machida may have barely won that round. Who knows? Yeah, Yoel Romero, I say give him either a title shot against champion Chris Weidman, the winner of Weidman and Rockhold, or give him Jacare Souza for a number one contender fight. Yeah, I mean, Yoel Romero is the real deal. He's on a massive win streak in the middleweight division. He's come back from the brink of defeat to win, and he's also gone in and flat out dominated. He's a heavy hitter, great wrestling, and just he's getting better and better over time. And he doesn't seem worn out with his age. You know, he's in his late 30s, but he doesn't fight like a guy in his late 30s. He looks well conditioned. American Top Team has done him well. Yeah. So there you have it. That's the main event. And the co-main event, we had my good buddy Lorenz Larkin. If you see my Facebook page on Nate Craig on Facebook, you could see, yeah, I met Lorenz Larkin. Yeah, in the co-main event, we had a welterweight clash with Lorenz Larkin and Santiago Ponzinibbio. Yeah, and again, on this one, I picked Lorenz Larkin to win. This one, I picked him to win by knockout, first or second round. And he got it. It was second round, officially TKO punches. And yeah, the first round, he found his rhythm, and it was a good technical battle, and Santiago should have used his ground game and gone for takedowns. I don't know why he didn't. I think it was an ego thing. But Santiago is still a great fighter. Lorenz Larkin, I just hope that he continues to work on his ground game, and his next fight, whoever may be, could be a guy with a strong, heavy wrestling background that may try to take him down constantly, and I worry he may lose that fight. Yeah, because we all know Lorenz Larkin, great kickboxer, but his ground game has always been in question. So as long as he works on his ground game, I think the sky's the limit for Lorenz Larkin, and I hope he wins. He continues to win in the welterweight division. Yeah, he needed this win. If he lost this fight, he may have got cut. And yeah, the welterweight division is good for Lorenz Larkin. The middleweight division, like a lot of people said, he was too small of a middleweight fighting much bigger middleweights. And him going down to welterweight, I think, is the right move. There's plenty of guys for him to beat before he cracks the top 10 to kind of tune him up in welterweight. And yeah, this was a great striking battle. Good striking battle. Good, basically a kickboxing match in the MMA octagon. I think, yeah, this did get fight of the night, and a deserved fight of the night. So good job, Lawrence Larkin. Then also on the main card, we had a middleweight clash with Antonio Carlos Jr., which is the Tough Brazil 3 heavyweight winner, who's now in middleweight, against Eddie Gordon. Now this one, I'm eating my words. I am eating my words. I said on my pre-fight show that Antonio Carlos Jr. should have stayed at heavyweight. Boy, was I wrong. He looked like a killer at middleweight. This guy's the real deal at middleweight. This guy will be making waves at middleweight. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, he lost Patrick Cummings' fight at light heavyweight, and he got out-wrestled. But I think if that same fight were at middleweight, it would have been a closer fight. And yeah, Eddie Gordon, oh man, poor guy. I mean, the guy had a lot of hype going in. He was the Ultimate Fighter season 19 winner at middleweight on Team Frankie Edgar. He trains with Ray Longo, and yeah, this one, this fight ended officially submission rear naked choke. Yeah, you know, I knew if Antonio was going to win, it would have been by submission, but I just didn't think it was going to happen. I thought Eddie Gordon was going to knock him out or grind him out with his wrestling and get, if anything, a boring decision victory. But man, this fight, it almost went the distance, and Antonio, he got the finish before the fight was ended. There's only 23 seconds left in the fight, and Antonio Carlos Jr., I mean, he was winning the first 2 rounds, and Eddie Gordon needed to go for broke in that 3rd round. He didn't go for broke, and he was getting beat on the stand-up by Antonio, and Antonio's just running circles around him, and Antonio sunk in the rear naked choke in that 3rd round with only 23 seconds left. So good job, Antonio. Good job, Shoeface. You know, and also being a Junior Dos Santos fan, you made Junior Dos Santos happy, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, great fight. Then also on the main card, also in the middleweight division, we had Thiago Santos versus Steve Bosse. This one was, I knew it was a given. Yeah, this one only lasted 29 seconds. It was Thiago Santos knocking out KO head kick, round 1, only in 29 seconds. Head kick knockout of Steve Bosse. And I knew this because Steve Bosse, he's a hockey player turned MMA fighter. And hockey, football, basketball, baseball, those sports, they don't correlate with MMA. Say like if you were a soccer player or a boxer or a collegiate wrestler, you know, it's I mean, there's combat in hockey, but it's not full-blown combat sport. I mean, the point of the sport is to get the puck in the goal. So yeah, I knew Steve Bosse, especially with his training camp, saying he doesn't have the greatest ground game. I knew Santos could beat him anywhere, and it was just, you know, I figured he would go for a takedown and go for a submission right away and get in the 1st round. But winning by a KO head kick knockout didn't shock me either. Yeah, Thiago Santos is a real deal at middleweight. He's a veteran of the sport, and he landed that head kick real well. Like they were saying on TV, it was a good, it was reminiscent of Sean Salmon versus Rashad Evans, when Rashad Evans knocked out Sean Salmon with a head kick. Yeah, Steve Bosse had his head down, and he was going for he was going for a block, but he blocked the wrong spot at the wrong moment, and Thiago Santos capitalized and was able to get the head kick. So it was pretty impressive. And yeah, he got Performance of the Night for that, which is well deserved. So good job, Thiago Santos. Can't wait to see more of you at the middleweight division. And yeah, again, another great fight on this main card. Then to kick off this main card, we had a featherweight clash with Hakran Diaz and Levon Makashvili. And this fight was just lackluster. Both guys were struggling. This fight could have gone either way. It was a split decision win for Hakran Diaz. They're both getting each other up against the cage and just circling around, playing back and forth, pushing each other against the cage. Not a whole lot happened with this fight. It was pity patter, what I call pity patter, when they punch each other, and there's no real power in the shots. There was some clinch striking in this fight throughout all 3 rounds, and yeah, it definitely Hakran Diaz gets his victory at featherweight against a talented Levon Makashvili. And you know, Hakran Diaz, this guy, you know, he has a lot of tools. So I think his next fight will be more exciting. I think he knows that this fight could have been just more explosive. So there you have it. There's the 5-fight main card on this. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Yoel Romero, the real deal. And stay tuned for my next episode, which will be about UFC 189, Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo for the UFC Featherweight Championship. And then also on that card, you have a welterweight clash with Rory McDonald versus champion Robbie Lawler for the UFC Welterweight Championship of the UFC. And I'll try to throw in some other additional episodes in the mix, so stay tuned for those. But my next one about a big fight card will be about that one. So until then, see ya.